Welcome to Championship Sunday for the 2022 Atlanta Open, the first stop of the Gold Series in the 2022 AVP Tour. This place has been electric all weekend long, and we can't wait to get to this women's final. Hi, everyone. I'm Cameron Irwin alongside Olympic gold medalist Dane Blanton. And now we've got a good one. Therese Cannon and Sarah Sponcil, the #1 seed in this tournament, facing off against a team that found themselves in a final just a week ago. Julia Scoles and Gina Urango. What are the expectations for this one?
Well, their expectations are huge, but Julia Scoles and Gina Urango have surprised me. I did not think they'd make it back to the finals because they played in excruciating heat in Fort Lauderdale. The heat has been similar here, but they're fired up. They're ready to go.
All right, well, let's dig into them just a bit longer. For Julia Scoles and Gina Urango, what do they bring to the beach volleyball court?
Well, Julia Scoles brings a ton of physicality. This is their 5th AVP tournament as partners, and it's kind of a resurgence of Gina Urango. She's the veteran of the two. She has played on the tour a lot longer, but she is still in search of her first AVP championship. And so what better to do it with this young player who's come out of college in Julia Scoles. On the other side of the net, the #1 seed. You know, you can't say enough about this squad. They won their first championship in Hermosa about a month ago, and Sarah Sponcil, one of the best defenders that you will ever see, and Therese getting better and better as a blocker.
Yeah, it's so fun to watch that #1 seed. But let's get to the third member of our crew. Mark Sherman's down on the sand, I think, with a special guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please stand and remove your hats as we honor America and our troops serving at home and around the world with the singing of our national anthem, performed today by AVP champion Haley Harward.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, it's time to have some fun. Let's get to the women's finals here in Atlanta. We're going to send it to Mark Sherman for our player intros.
Atlanta, we are back on our feet. Let me get up one more time as we meet our women's finalists. And let's do it, shall we? It is time, ladies and gentlemen, to meet our finalists. Oh, and this first team, they are back in the finals for the 2nd straight week. This team coming out of nowhere, starting in Hermosa Beach, then into Fort Lauderdale, here to Atlanta. And this first player, originally from North Carolina. She was the 2015 Gatorade Player of the Year out of North Carolina. Went to UNC, on to Hawaii, ended up at USC, where she won 2 national championships. Let me hear it for Julia Scoles. And her partner, ladies and gentlemen, out of Los Alamitos, California. She also played at the University of Southern California on the indoor side, moved over to the beach as the first ever NCAA scholarship player at USC. She is hungry for a win, ladies and gentlemen. We have been watching her for a long time here on the AVP. She is Gina Urango. And their opponents, they now call themselves AVP champions, don't they? They just walking around, look at me, I'm an AVP champion, I'm an AVP champion, and now they want number 2. This first player coming out of Pittsford, New York, played her college ball at USC, came from the indoor to the beach, she stepped on the sand, and she was like, this is weird, this is a little bit weird, I don't know what to do with this, and then all of a sudden, it clicked, and she started destroying people on the beach volleyball court. Ladies and gentlemen, a 2-time national champion, Therese Cannon. And her partner, originally out of Phoenix, Arizona, went on to Loyola Marymount University and then was like, across town, I see you, Bruins. I see you, UCLA. I think I can do some work over there. I think I can on the indoor side and the beach side. She won 2 national championships. She is flying all over the place in the back row. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Sarah Sponcil.
Three Trojans and a Bruin, an all-LA final in terms of these 4 collegiate beach volleyball players now playing at the professional ranks. So fun to have all 4 represented out here. Sarah Sponcil and her partner Therese Cannon on the left side of your screen, Julia Scoles and Gina Urango on the right side of your screen. Not only is Dane Blanton an Olympic gold medalist, but he's also the head coach of the Trojans. So I think we got the right man in the booth for this one. Sarah Sponcil will get us started. It's Julia Scoles up and out of bounds, the 2-time national champion. Dane, fill us in a little bit on her game.
Well, Julia Scoles, so physical, and she's just got a motor that runs hot. She is not afraid to play every single position on the court, defense, offense. You'll see, well, she'll be serving and running into the net quite often, and just a physical specimen. She works as hard as anyone I've ever seen on a beach volleyball court.
Julia Scoles, originally out of North Carolina. You talked about the resurgence of Gina Urango. It's so fun to see her in back-to-back finals now.
Yeah, Gina Urango playing spectacular defense in the backcourt, and she's really gotten good at her conversion rate of putting that ball down.
And they fend off the option. Gina Urango has spent 12 seasons on tour. Just 33 years old, out of Los Alamitos, California.
And we saw that exact play from Sponcil, but it went over cleanly in the semifinals as Urango rips an ace down the middle.
Yes, and that's what when I was first introduced to Gina Urango's beach volleyball game, that was the thing that stuck out more than anything else, was her aggressive play from the service line. This topspin jump serve, it can be very deadly, even though that one just misses long. She has pretty good control in terms of placement and pace of where that thing's going.
Should be noted, the road to this final for Sponcil and Therese, they only played 4 matches as opposed to 6 matches on the other side of the net for Urango and Scoles. And the reason Urango and Scoles played 6 matches, well, they lost the second round. And in double elimination format, you got to fall down to the contenders bracket, work your way up, and you end up playing a couple more matches. You end up paying for it. So the physicality, the heat could be a little bit more of a factor for Urango and Scoles. And we mentioned also last week in Fort Lauderdale some excruciating heat,
where they played 7 total matches. Finding the sideline is Urango. They made it to that final, taking a loss to Tina Gradina and Haley Harward. A couple more Trojans. That was a 3-set battle. From way outside. Therese Cannon and Sarah Sponcil, both earning their first career title back in Hermosa Beach. Let's take a look at the path for Cannon and Sponcil. Those are those 4 wins like you mentioned.
All in straight sets.
Including that 1-0, interesting, 1-28 due to weather. Oh, that's a big swing, but an even bigger dig.
That set maybe a little too inside. Didn't quite get out to the right shoulder of Gina Urango. May have to take a little straighter approach if you're Urango on that. But unfortunately, that ball flies long.
Full layout.
That ball is in right there, but how about Sarah Sponcil? She is all over the court, and the cool thing about her, she knows when she can use one hand or two, gets 2 hands on this one, sets the ball pretty much perfectly for her partner Cannon, but then the deep shot by Urango for the winner.
Off the shoulder. You always talk about the deep corners, Dane. Sponcil looking for one there.
Just a beautifully executed shot by Sponcil. Instead of going straight down, goes to the deep corner. Really catches Urango off guard.
What a snap from Julia Scoles. Multiple time All-American at USC. A nice wrist from Gina Urango.
Solid volleyball on both sides of the net right now.
And take a look back at this one. It's the Wilson play of the day. A little bit funky, why not? Some things just get a little weird. Again, that's the Wilson Volleyball play of the day.
A lot of interesting things happening in that one.
Urango is fearless with the block in front of her.
It's funny, after watching that Wilson play of the day, it is like every play that happened in that you don't really practice for because it's so kind of unorthodox. The ball clipping the top of the net, the turnaround, the overset that you thought you were going to hit that you never got to.
Oh, Scoles reaching another level.
It's hard not to get tooled out of bounds. You have to press back into the court, and that's exactly what Scoles does.
There's the road to the final for the number 7 seed. They took that loss in the second round and worked their way back through. Straight down! There's some anger on that one, Therese Cannon.
That was a huge hit by Cannon. That was really, really straight down.
You can see there in terms of the road, the 3, 4, and 5 stand out. Those were the seeds that they took down to get to this final. And again, flying. There's a net violation, and it's on Scoles. Tried to sell it.
So they're calling 4 contacts. So
Oh.
saying that.
Oh, this. Do you see her in the net?
That would happen in first, though. That would happen first.
What do you say? So she netted first.
No, the net would happen after.
Here's a look.
What did you?
There's a touch on the block. There's the second contact. There's the third contact. And that's the 4th contact that jousts. There was a net by
There
Julia
was.
Scoles after the 4th contact. And that's what the umpire was trying to explain to Sarah Sponcil. So I don't think anyone but the head referee saw that first touch. But it made sense. You only get 3 contacts. And another strange play early in this women's final.
And I will say there is some vocalness coming from Cannon and Sponcil. They look locked in and fired up, even though they trail by a few now. Men's semifinal is still going on too. There's some wildness here on Sunday. Big swing. The ball is into the stands.
Yeah, Julia Scoles is one of the hardest hitting players that I have ever seen. I remember seeing her play for Hawaii, and I said, wow, it would be a dream if she would, you know, be playing for the Trojans at the time. And it was just so interesting to hear when she hit. It was like a different audible. She was hitting the ball with a different type of pace, so I was very lucky to be able to coach and work with her. She is just one of those special athletes.
Well, you mentioned her time at Hawaii. That was in 2019 and 2020. Before that, she was playing indoor at North Carolina, where she was also an All-American. Safe to say her collegiate beach volleyball and indoor career is something to be proud of in terms of resume made.
Yeah, you know, we talk about indoor players coming over. She started indoor at North Carolina, as you mentioned, and same with Therese Cannon. Started at Georgetown playing indoor before switching over, and so it's really great to see the whole collegiate beach movement and beach volleyball being certified by the NCAA happened in 2016, so still relatively young. But Cameron, you were doing the math on how many players in the field had gone through collegiate programs prior to getting to the pro circuit.
Yeah, I think it was of about the 32 in this draw. It was, I think, somewhere at least at the 21, if not more, mark, in terms of total coming through the collegiate game.
For Julia, I'm going to yell monster block. We're going to get our hands in the air, and DJ Rouchet is going to do this.
It's time to take a look at our White Claw Pure Spike of the day. Who is it going to be? I think it's going to be the Cannon, Therese Cannon. Again, that's your White Claw Pure Spike of the day.
It's like nobody up, and she just buried it right in front of him.
That's always the fun one, right? No block. The fans filling in here in Atlanta, Georgia for the women's final, the first stop of the Gold Series on the 2022 AVP Tour. This is the women's final. Sarah Sponcil and her partner Therese Cannon, the #1 seed, facing off against Julia Scoles and Gina Urango. Right now, they're trailing by 3.
No inline.
Scoles from 10 feet off. The butter of Sponcil tosses that up to the net.
Line.
Pulling out the hands again while looking into the sun. Make it a 2-point game.
Big error there by Urango. Should have got 2 hands on that ball. Somehow maybe lost it in the sky right there. You're seeing some long rallies out there.
You are, and it's interesting too that in that technical timeout, they made sure to throw in some ice on the back of the neck, trying to slow down and cool down all of these athletes. Cagey play. Gina Urango.
I know, initially I thought when I saw that play it was coming from Sponcil. That would be something.
Gina.
That would be something Sponcil would do right there.
For sure.
For sure. And then Gina showing that she possesses those tricks as well.
High line was the call, but I think it was more the low line seam. The shot taken from Therese Cannon.
So great to see how effortless it is for Sponcil to set the ball. She just puts that ball exactly where she wants every time.
Stein Metzger, her head coach over at UCLA, saying she's one of the best setters he's ever seen. in the beach game.
You see that lefty from Urango? She's pulling out all the stops. Yeah, Sarah Sponcil for sure. She transferred from LMU over to UCLA and ended up with 2 national championships and set for the indoor team as well. And she can do it all. And
was an outside at LMU.
Yeah, she's a rare athlete, and she's so fiery, but very stoic about it. And she's just a competitor.
Also an Olympian. A year ago, she was coming off a run alongside Kelly Chang. I remember it was almost like they came straight back from Tokyo right to this event.
Yeah, that's not easy to do. All the traveling these players have to do and then get ready on the court. And it's not just a physical thing, it's an emotional thing.
Nice dig by Sponcil. I love the way Therese Cannon set that ball. A ton of spin coming off that first contact.
Yeah, sometimes you can set the ball with spin to help out your partner who's going to hit that ball. And that ball put in nice position for Sponcil. She faces cross court, goes high line.
So the switch at 13-14. Again, the ice bags are out for Scoles. Cooling herself off, and there's the reason. 90-degree heat index. That is about 10 degrees cooler than what it was the last 2 days here in Atlanta. But the heat does damage over time, and that's been true in terms of these athletes. They've been battling and fighting through it. Your physical conditioning from the preseason is coming to true form right now. Again, Scoles. That was just mean.
Perfect opportunity to go on the second contact. Urango teeing up her partner, Scoles, right here. Here's the roll shot. Somehow Urango knew that ball was going right to that position.
I like that. They do that pretty frequently with Therese Cannon. Moving her to that right side, working with the back set.
Yeah, I like that a lot because it keeps the blocker guessing. They have to move laterally right, then go to the left. Gina Urango with a lot of heat on the left side right there.
Again, I'm really impressed with Gina Urango. It's so fun to see her playing in finals like this. And without a fear, just going up and unleashing on the ball.
Yeah, it's awesome. And the cool thing about volleyball is you can get creative. And she's showing us a lot of creativity. We've seen the left hand. We've seen a finesse shot, the power shot. Over on 2. Wait, and there's Sponcil trying to do exactly what Urango had done about 5 minutes ago. That ball out of bounds.
It's a great catch by you. Gina going with the jump float now. And those are the type of side outs you want. First ball opportunity.
Therese Cannon has gotten so good. That line shot and the cut shot she possesses, so it kind of freezes the defense. You almost have to guess one or the other.
Go, 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 go!
Let's switch sides. We have got set point.
Wow, Scoles and Urango looking rock solid right now. Not giving up a lot of easy points. When they're in trouble, they're keeping the ball in play, letting their defense do the work.
You can see Eric Baranek in the forefront there, one of our AVP pros as well. Giving a little words of wisdom to those two, coaching them up this weekend. Much needed side out as the set point still remains for Scoles and Urango. They've tested both Urango and Scoles in the side out game. Sponcil decides to work from the left. There's their efficiency on screen. Scoles from the right. What a dig! And finish! Sponcil with the stare down, and she walks back to the back line.
That was amazing reaction time for Sponcil in the backcourt. Scoles put a little extra on that one, trying to get that kill and to finish off the first set, but Sponcil said not just yet.
Sponcil again from the left. This time she tests the left side of Scoles. And more heat coming. Whoo, that's set number one. It's fiery out there.
Love it. A few stare downs, a lot of heat, a lot of power, and going right back at Sponcil. Sponcil almost had that one, and she knows it. Expect her to come out firing in set number two.
This is some fun volleyball for our women's final. These two teams are just crushing the ball.
The AVP is brought to you by Terramana Small Batch Tequila. Bring on the mana. By Clean Skin, high-performance sunscreen and skincare products for the outdoor lifestyle. By White Claw Hard Seltzer. And by Sky Vodka, made with water enriched by Pacific minerals for a fresher tasting vodka and soda.
We all know it's a good idea to recycle. But what happens to that aluminum can or all that paper after you put it in the recycling bin? Where does it go? What does it become in its second life? See how WM is always working for a sustainable tomorrow at WM.com/stories.
Get ready for a whole new wave of White Claw. New full flavor White Claw Surf. Sensational refreshment for a taste like no other.
The first stop of the Gold Series on the 2022 AVP Tour right here for the Atlanta Open. This place has been packed all weekend long through the weather, through the wind, through the rain. But right now, it's all about the women's final because the sun is shining down and the heat index is only climbing. Cannon and Sponcil versus Scoles and Urango. It's 1 versus 7. Cameron Irwin alongside Dane Blanton. And Dane, we were talking about during the break the intensity of these two teams as you see some of the numbers for the California Dreamin' team right here. I mean, just phenomenal play with so much pace coming off these girls' hands.
Yeah, they're being aggressive, they're being creative at the same time, and that's really, really important. And we talked about it at the start. All, or 3 of the 4 players out on the court have national championships. Cannon twice, 2016, 2017. Sponcil actually did it in 18 and I believe 19. And Scoles in 21 and 22. I believe we might be shortchanging Sponcil there on the 2019 national championship, because I remember she had transferred over from Loyola Marymount and really took the beach team to an entirely different level. And she was playing indoor, like you said, setting, playing. You know, she can play every position out there, Sponcil, but a lot of accolades, a lot of championship rings down on center court.
There's nothing under those shorts. Don't ask me how I know that.
You can see Julia Scoles underneath the umbrella currently has her foot in a bucket of ice as well as ice on her lap. She's trying to stay as cool as possible alongside Gina Urango.
Yeah, Julia Scoles sometimes has a bit of an issue with the heat. Last week, we saw that she got sick during the finals and really kept going. I spoke to her earlier today. She said throughout the week she did get a couple of IVs to get that body hydrated and back up to the level it needs to be.
Second set now underway. And Dane, I got a fun little flashback for you. So I was looking back through the chronicles of Gina Urango's career. Her first AVP tournament that she played alongside a gold medalist. Can you guess who that was? Went through the qualifiers back in Manhattan Beach in 2006.
April Ross.
It was Alex Kleinman. They didn't make it into the tournament through the qualifier. They took just one game and lost in the quali. But nonetheless, 2006 alongside Olympic gold medalist Alex Kleinman.
And at that time, Kleinman not even thinking about playing
beach
on
volleyball.
the beach. But she's a local in Manhattan Beach, so she grew up right next to the courts. You stumped me.
Gotcha.
Don't get used to it.
It's rare. We talked about the pace coming off the hands of these four women. That was a nice swing from Cannon. Scoles taking a hair timeout. Numbers for Therese Cannon just on screen. Is a big time play, not only because it's a point, Dane, but I feel like it also makes a little bit of a statement.
Yeah, it's a tough play. Julia Scoles trying to go over on two. Remember, Therese Cannon did not serve that ball, so she's already waiting at the net with great vision.
Option again. What a play. Sponcil works her way back into the court, but it doesn't matter. Her partner is playing lights out at the net.
Yeah, that ball has to be covered, even from our broadcast position. Knew that ball was going to get blocked. It was just too tight to the net. Therese Cannon gonna send it back. If you're Scoles, you gotta be ready and cover that.
4-2 now. Number one seed needs to force a third. They want the title. I think Sponcil hit that off her wrist.
Interesting thing about today's weather, not much of a breeze. There at least was a breeze when it was 10 degrees hotter the last couple of days, but today very still, very humid, but nonetheless a little bit cooler for the players. They gotta like that.
Yeah, you can see the flag just on our stadium court here. Eric Brannick just continuing to pour ice cold water down Julia Scoles as she makes the walk. I remember we found all sorts of different ways to keep athletes cool. Remember Ed Ratledge at one point or another wearing that vest that was packed full of ice while he was playing, that cooling vest.
I remember that. Right shot by Therese Cannon, but just a little bit too long. Gonna have to execute on that one. The set was really perfect.
Another good set from Sponcil.
Yeah, it's so tough when Therese goes on that back set. Sponcil has that ability to shoot the ball over. You got to be really aware of so many things when Sponcil's about to contact the ball.
Another missed serve, just settling in here in set two. what? I think that may have only hit about an inch of her hand.
Yeah, barely. It kind of paintbrushed off of it. Very fortunate at her height that ball made it over the net. Looked like it was going to stay on her side of the net, and it just trickles and spins over.
Ooh, there's even more of a stare down. Therese Cannon.
That's what you get when you get 4 really intense competitors out there. You know, it's not personal, but they're all trying to win the same thing. Yeah.
How about that? Perfectly laid up from Sponcil.
Just a great play all the way around. A soft block by Therese, and then Sponcil gets there so quick with her feet. And then she uses 2 hands to really push that ball up into a hittable position. Therese Cannon crushes the angle for the point.
Sponcil. Heavy arm. 9-5 finds another side switch. And I think it's time we look at how the momentum started on the side of Cannon and Sponcil, because I think it was some blocking by that one right there, Therese Cannon. Take a look at our Monster Hydro Monster blocks of the day, because she had 2 to start off this one.
So good is Therese Cannon at getting her hands in the right position at the right time. That's the Monster Hydro Monster block of the day, and more to come for sure from Therese Cannon.
Chipping that ball back down over the top. Cannon and Sponcil just a week ago in Fort Lauderdale took a 9th place finish, something they weren't exactly thrilled with, to say the least, after winning Hermosa. They did say they liked the fact that they had to face some adversity playing in some tough conditions. Right now it looks like they're handling the conditions, the heat, pretty well here in set number 2.
Wow, Sponcil got that ball to the sand very quickly. Urango was in the angle waiting for it, but her angle was just a little too sharp.
15 kills now for Therese Cannon. Had 26 total attempts, hitting 500 right now. Therese has had 4 service errors, and it's interesting. She's got a tough flat serve, comes from a high contact point. Watch for maybe those to start turning towards her favor. That's a really nice, calculated swing from Scoles.
Yeah, she goes around the backside, as we've seen Therese Cannon do quite a bit on that same side, and go down the line. It's difficult to track that hitter when they go all the way from the left, swinging around to the right side.
And an ace.
Scoles with a placement. Top spin serve. She's known for her velocity. That time, she places it.
Nice finger roll there on her toss. Ooh, you want to talk about vision. Nice read there on the attack from Sponcil.
Seems like as this match goes on, Sponcil getting more and more locked in, more and more focused.
Another good dig. Sponcil in the full layout. Corner pocket, Scoles.
A lot of work happening from Julia Scoles prior to the hit. Her footwork, getting back, getting gathered for that second attempt, but sometimes taking 2 or 3 swings to put it away against Sponcil.
Some swagger out on the court right now between these 4. Each time somebody's making a play, they're feeling themselves. It's the kind of volleyball I like watching.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. These players are accustomed to winning championships. You know, each of them with 2 national championships, and they know how to do it on center court with the pressure being high.
12-9 here in set number 2, and like you mentioned, so many champions out on the sand right now. They're still trying to find a championship here in Atlanta. Here are your set 2 stats. Cannon and Sponcil, Scoles and Urango. Wilson Volleyball is getting tossed into the crowd here in Atlanta. Mark Sherman, well, he's got a decent arm. As our trophies are waiting in the wake right next to the court. Who will be crowned the champion? Will it be those two, Gina Urango and Julia Scoles, looking for their first titles on the AVP Tour? Or those two, the #1 seed, locked and loaded, Sarah Sponcil and Therese Cannon, looking for #2 on the 2022 season.
Yeah, if Sponcil and Cannon can pull this off, they'd be the first team to repeat in the 2022 season, and what a place to do it. In Atlanta, so much history, Atlanta having and hosting the first beach volleyball Olympic Games. But more importantly for them, this is the first Gold Series, and they would love to punch their ticket to Phoenix in the championships.
And there is a good look at your champions from 2022, and I'm so glad you bring up Phoenix, because that's going to be just around the corner in September. And how are they getting there? It's just 6 teams on the men's and women's side that will get a chance to go. It's based off your best finishes in the Gold Series events. So let's take a look at, there's your schedule. Manhattan Beach, that's the next Gold Series stop. The 3rd and final Gold Series will be in Chicago, all culminating in Phoenix for the championships. 6 women's teams, 6 men's teams. And these athletes have all been talking about those championships. Fun element added to the 2022 calendar. Coming back out of the technical timeout, Sponcil and Cannon currently hitting .514 as a team. Scoles and Urango on the match hitting .361. Cannon and Sponcil have to find set #2 to force a 3rd. Cameron Irwin alongside Dane Blanton. And it's time to get back out on the sand. Make it the 5th service error for Cannon.
Yeah, coming out of a technical timeout like that, you want to make sure that they handle it. I think the momentum has been on the side of Cannon and Sponcil. It's important that they keep that ball in, keep that momentum rolling.
The door is cracked. 13-10 now. Again, Gina Urango looking for her first. I was gonna say, another big time block from Therese Cannon.
Those are tough times to go over on too, because Julia Scoles is so far on the right side of the net. Not a lot of surface area to go for unless she cuts it back, and Therese's block is huge.
Rolling that up there, my goodness, what a soft touch.
Yeah, they're starting to run away with this one as Gina Urango has seen enough. She motions for a timeout, a 5-point deficit.
Sponcil has some of the softest hands. It's unreal as she's falling back, the balance, the body control.
She makes it look so easy. Just really a gifted setter, and she works on every single aspect of her game, and I think That's a sign of an athlete. When they do make it look easy, it's because they're putting in the work.
Yeah, without a doubt, these two definitely putting in the work alongside Scott Davenport. Therese Cannon has been doing a lot of heavy lifting in terms of her net play. There's a look at some of her numbers from set 1 to set number 2. Total number of attacks. A bit of a differential there, but nonetheless, highly efficient in terms of her kills, especially set number 2.
Yeah, her efficiency has increased tremendously, and her blocking, her prowess at the net. 4 stuff blocks so far. We've seen a couple of them on Julia Scoles trying to option past her. And then she's causing some problems right now for Urango and for Julia Scoles. Looking at Gina Urango's stats there. Hit percentage -250 in the second, so not nearly as sharp as the first set. It's almost a straight reversal. Cannon and Sponcil have been in control from the start here in this second.
If you're just joining us here in Atlanta, you're joining us in on the women's final. It's Cannon and Sponcil versus Scoles and Urango. A 5-point advantage in set number 2 for the number 1 seed. They trail by 1 set already, looking to force a third. A big swing. I think Urango heard us talking about her efficiency in set 2.
Gina Urango, you know, she is known with her shots and whatnot, but she's a lot more powerful now. She's bringing it with a lot more heat.
Very compact and efficient arm swing from Therese Cannon.
Sponcil and Cannon are passing the ball much better here in the second set.
It's a great point. I actually almost am just waiting. I want the ball to get too tight for Julia Scoles just to see what she's gonna do with it. Because she does this, she just hammers.
She's hitting that ball with a lot of velocity.
You know, it's so interesting. You see so many different styles of whether it's offense or even attacks, right? You see slap shots, different contacts on the ball, and you mentioned it. Hers just sounds so different when she's taking a whack at the ball. It's a heavy arm. Just her first missed serve, and actually the first missed serve for Scoles and Urango in set number 2. They've had 2 total on the match. Make it 3 as an ace. The trickle.
That was an awesome serve right there. You know, talk about a short serve. Try landing it about a foot from the net after kissing the top of the net. Right there, Sarah Sponcil gets our waste management serve of the day. Try that at home. Bounce it off the top of the tape and roll it short. What's this land? Maybe, let's say, 18 inches from the net. That's a true short serve.
I think that's generous. Again, not only the contact, but it's there. Sponcil over the back. That's a set and kill, all in one.
Gina Urango saw the play happening and forming, and she took off to dig it, but it was just too good. Sponcil pinpointing the spot. Urango, sand everywhere.
Sandy Urango. That's what you want to avoid.
Now the big question right now, this second set is as good as over. If you're Julia Scoles and Urango, you'd like at least to get a nice clean side out to try to get back in the groove of things here.
Ace. closes out set number 2.
Well, I guess that's not happening.
Nope.
Sometimes when you're getting beat by 8, 9 points, instead of focusing on the win, you got to at least focus on getting that momentum back on your side so that you can roll it into the next set. So it's going to be interesting here in the 3rd set, but this is what we expected.
15 points to go. Set number 3 is just around the corner for the title in Atlanta. Welcome back to Atlanta, Georgia. This is the women's final. Sarah Sponcil and Therese Cannon facing off against Julia Scoles and Gina Urango. Scoles and Urango looking for their first title in their career. But Cannon and Sponcil are in the way right now, looking for their second on the season. Cameron Irwin alongside Dane Blanton. And look at this Atlanta crowd. They have been phenomenal all weekend long and enjoying a bit of cloud cover at the moment, as I'm sure Julia Scoles is as well. Couple national titles out on the sand, and by a couple, I mean a few more than a couple. Dane Blanton, take a look at California Dreamin'. NCAA national titles between Cannon, Sponcil, and Scoles. Pretty phenomenal, Dane.
It really is. Cannon in 16 and 17, those are the first 2 years the NCAA had certified collegiate beach volleyball, and then Sponcil did it at UCLA, 18 and 19, and then Julia Scoles in 21 and 22. So this is an all Los Angeles final, and a lot of rings for championships down on that court.
Got a couple rings down on the sand. Right now, they're looking for a mighty big Gold Series trophy. Add to the resume.
Line over, line over.
Sponcil in the pocket. And the line may still be bouncing. First point to Cannon and Sponcil.
Scoles and Urango are in a little bit of a tough situation here. It's either hit cross court at Sponcil or try to go high over Therese Cannon, who has really been soft blocking well, giving Sponcil time to run the ball down.
This time they go at Sponcil again. No way! Monster block, Therese Cannon.
Therese Cannon ready at the net. It's an over dig, but she positions herself perfectly. Not sure if Scoles ever saw her coming.
Line over.
Set inside.
Net violation, point to Scoles and Urango.
But you notice every single time Urango and Scoles on offense, it seems like Sponcil's in the right spot.
Right now, every single swing or shot Scoles and Urango are taking, they're thinking about where Sponcil is.
Right.
Urango with her own nice dig.
Line.
Sponcil wants that back.
They dodged a bullet right there because you have to set the ball tighter if you're Scoles to Urango. Urango is not accustomed to hitting 8, 9 feet off the net. Take the chance, take the risk. That time they dodged a bullet by that ball being hit out of bounds.
Perfect pass from Sponcil. And back-to-back hitting errors from her as well. We switch every 5 points.
So quickly the momentum can change, and it can just be one play. It was 2-0 a second ago, and then all of a sudden Scoles Urango up 3-2.
Speaking of momentum, our tour has plenty of momentum to go in 2022, this just being the first of the Gold Series event. Take a look, though we've got plenty to still go. Manhattan Beach, then off to Virginia Beach for a tour series stop, then Chicago and Phoenix will close out our season all the way into December in Orlando. The white sands, the white snow. We're going full send in 2022. There's Cannon's numbers, 19 kills, 31 attacks. 548. Ooh, she left that hanging up there.
I like that. Hand contact, got that ball with a lot of topspin and got it to the sand quickly. Otherwise, it's Sponcil who's going to run that down.
Gina's numbers for comparison, 11 kills, 20 total attacks. Played to 15 points, must win by 2. Right now, not much of a breeze or wind in general. The humidity's hanging over the court. You talked about the creativity of Urango, and we're kind of seeing it in multiple ways right now. That's a shot I feel like I haven't seen as much of.
Yeah, really deep, kind of loopy shot to the corner. That's because if Sponcil takes a shallow line, she's not going to be able to adjust to that deep corner.
You talked about the soft blocks of Cannon. Scoles gets one now.
Yeah, that's a soft block, but it ends up on the opposition side of the net, and they just cannot fish it out. What Teresa's doing so good is deflecting that ball up in the air, giving Sponcil time to run it down. That time, Scoles letting her presence be felt, and they've got a 2-point edge here.
Make it 1. Now it's interesting, if Scoles and Urango are able to pull out this title in set number 3, there've only been just 9 previous times an AVP tournament has been won by a team seeded 7th or lower in history. So they'd be adding to that mix.
Seeing a lot of more service errors here early in the third, and a lot of them more into the net rather than deep. So got to make a conscious effort as it get a little more fatigued. It's getting a little hotter out there.
Sun coming back out as well. What a set! Therese Cannon.
Really beautiful hands right there. And more importantly, the location was so on point.
So on point. Therese Cannon just 26 years old. Sponcil just 25.
40. Run over.
Oh, the chase is on, but there was questions as to that set. You gotta love the hustle. She's gotta get back now. What a rip. Julia Scoles is on another level.
What an amazing rally, and how about the motor on Therese Cannon going from the net to about 12 feet from the back line. Look at her takeoff here, showing her wheels, showing her speed, keeping that ball in play. And then Julia Scoles says, you guys might have got that up, but you're not going to get this one up. Brings all sorts of heat on that transition play.
I want to get on the Julia Scoles workout plan. See if I can start hitting balls like that. Net violation.
Wow, any lesser player would have given that point away. Sponcil protecting the line. That serve was really nice, and that's what it takes right there. That's why Sponcil is a champion and such a great player. Is she has that ability to make those plays that can turn the momentum quickly.
Well, I also think one of the other elements that's kind of stuck out to me in terms of Sponcil and Cannon's ability is I feel like Cannon's ability to to set the ball and handle some of these really spinny balls off that first contact and place the ball pretty perfectly for Sponcil in terms of attack has been something to note. Option. 9-7.
Yeah, I was wondering if we were going to see that option again because Cannon had really controlled the last few option balls from Scoles, but Scoles keeping that confidence, keeping that momentum going.
That time just a bit too tight. Options were limited. Lefty.
Gina Urango with the left hand on the left side of the court. Not an easy play. Remember, she's right-handed. But
she doesn't look it anymore.
That looked really good. One of the best offhand hits that I've seen.
Took a little off that. I like the angle.
Smart. I think Cannon saw that the defense was playing cross court. She had to land that ball in front, and it works. Still impressed by that lefty by Urango.
I know, I'm still in shock. High off the top of the block, 11-8 now.
Watch over. Line.
When in doubt, find the middle.
Wow, just like that, up by 4 with 3 points to go are Scoles and Urango. And this is when the pressure starts to mount a little bit. Not only if you're trailing, but even if you're leading, if you're Scoles and Urango. You haven't been in this situation before. Neither has ever won an AVP event.
Well, they put themselves in a very solid position to do so, just 3 points away from the title.
Watch over. Line. What a swing.
That time, Urango kind of cheating to the line. We haven't seen that, but Sponcil's been getting away with that high line. And that's what you want to do. Take notes all along, then make adjustments at the end of the set.
Who will remain one step ahead? And another missed serve.
Oh, Therese Cannon wishing she could have that one back.
We could have a 5th new champ on the 2022 tour. 13-9 now. Will there be 2 new names added to that list? Ten to 13. You gotta find some defense here, Dane.
Therese Cannon looking to maybe get a stuff block or a soft block, or Sponcil making a dig.
Five total blocks for her. Tough serve. Sponcil's airborne. Willing her way to another point. Just when you think the ball is gonna hit the sand.
What a beautiful short serve, and she gets 2 hands on it. That's what's most impressive, and really controls it Sarah Sponcil just everywhere on the court.
Run over.
Just off the edge, it's 14-11. Scoles and Urango were in this position a week ago. They found themselves in a third set in the final in Fort Lauderdale. They lost that. They fought their way back here in Atlanta and now face match point. Atlanta is on their feet.
Watch over. Line.
Touched, not so fast.
And wouldn't this be something? Gina Urango, 33 years of age, played 12 seasons on tour, and finally looking at match point to win an AVP event.
Scoles for the win. Another ball dug up by Urango. The cut, and it's just wide. 13-14. Cannon and Sponcil hang on.
And that rally took quite a bit out of Gina Urango, trying to cut this shot for the win right there. And she's going to motion for a timeout and think about this one, as they'll have another opportunity after the timeout. Wow, the pressure continues to build.
These two trying to cool off just 1 second. They need one side out for the victory. Scott Davenport having a conversation. So in terms of defensive setup, Dane, what are you thinking here for Cannon and Sponcil?
Well, whoever they serve, I think that Cannon's going to take that line, unless the ball gets too tight, where then she's free to take ball. But she'll block line. Sponcil will be digging angle. And if you go line, you're going to have to go high over Cannon. She showed that she can soft block that ball and slow it down. It's going to get real interesting.
13-14 again. Eric Brannick talking Urango and Scoles through this timeout. There's a look at your set 3 stats. Total number of kills knotted up at 8 apiece. And as important as those are, right now it comes down to one play. Can Scoles and Urango execute on the side out?
This is what you practice your entire life for as a volleyball player, to be in a position to receive serve for side out. You just need one, but the pressure is building. And also, if you're Therese Canyon, you've missed quite a bit of serves here in this third set, so you want to make sure that they handle it.
Here we go, match ball. Scoles, Urango. Scoles takes it. And Sponcil with a shot for the tie. And they get it done. It's 14-all.
Well, that is huge right there by Sponcil and Therese Cannon. Julia Scoles stole that pass on the first ball and was unable to put it away.
Mounting the comeback. Can they find the lead now? That's what they had been looking for. 15-14.
I believe we're at 14-11. Scoles and Urango were in a commanding lead. Now they'll have another match point.
They go to Sponcil. Tight ball from off the net. Scoles with another look. From out of the sand is Sponcil, and she misses it long. Your Atlanta champions, Gina Urango and Julia Scoles. First time champions in the heat through 3 grueling days. They nearly only had it a week ago, but they finish it up with the unfinished business, the first title for Scoles and Urango.
How about that for a little drama at the end, Cameron? I mean, wow. Looked like they were in complete control, but that's what you get when you play a Sarah Sponcil and a Therese Cannon. They are champions as well, and they know how to fight and dig deep. They brought themselves out of the depths right there to almost pull off a miraculous comeback. But Julia Scoles, Gina Urango winning for the first time. So exciting for them, and we still do not have a repeat champion on the AVP Tour in the 2022 season.
Here is a look at your Atlanta champions. This is your Kona Brewing Company. Cheers to the champs. Might as well spray those. Again, cheers to the champs, brought to you by Kona Brewing. Julia Scoles and Gina Urango, your 2022 AVP Atlanta Women's Champs. Now, when we come back, we'll get a chance to catch up with our two victors as they hold their trophies.
Dear mainland, aloha. My brother and I hear that most of you only disable your phones when you fly. You call it airplane mode. But maybe you don't have to get on a plane to get away, yeah? Allow my brother to demonstrate. You know what we call this? Kona mode. One life, right? Mahalo.
Longboard Island Lager and Big Wave Golden Ale from Kona Brewing.
Welcome back to Atlanta. Welcome back to Atlanta. Let's head on down to Mark Sherman, who is down on the sand with our winners. Go ahead, Mark.
Down here with the champions, Julia and Gina. Oh my goodness, Gina, I gotta start with you. Your 7th AVP final, and now you are a champion. How's that feel?
I'm pretty speechless right now, and I just want to thank Julia and Eric and Nancy and my sponsors and just the team behind the team is supported me this whole way, and I'm so thankful.
Well, we're thankful to have been able to witness that. It was absolutely incredible. Your career is amazing, and it's at the best part right now. And your partner, Julia Scoles, you guys teamed up in Hermosa. How are Scoles and Urango going to do together? You might have surprised some folks, but you know what? Not a surprise, because you kept it going. Julia Scoles, you are an AVP champion. How you doing right now?
I'm doing well. I'm a little hot, but I'm just so thankful for Gina. I call her mentor Gina because she kind of helps me out, tells me what to do, and I'm just so thankful to be by her side. And honestly, by the grace of God that I'm in this moment right now. Yeah, I'm just so thankful and speechless.
Gina, what's it take about that perseverance to keep on going? You know you have it in you. You got back into a final again. What's that work ethic take?
I just, you put your head down and you keep going, because, I mean, just to be a part of this in general, regardless win or lose, is just so special to me. So I'm just very appreciative again.
And now we're going back home. Manhattan Beach in a couple weeks. I know it's a long way out, but now we're all expecting big things out of you. Do you guys feel like big time now, Julia?
No, honestly, it's very humbling to be here because 1 through 16, anyone can win on any given day. So it's just honestly a privilege and honor to be here.
Well, it's an honor to watch you two play. Congratulations, Atlanta, you're champions in the Gold Series. Gina Urango, Julia Scoles. Hey, ladies, can you sign with me?
So another big congrats to Julia Scoles and Gina Urango, the first-time champs out on the sand. We have one more thing to give out, though. The TNNS dig of the day. This one was for Sponcil. Man, they showed up in this final. They played so tough, nearly mounting the comeback at 11-14 in the third. They knotted it back up, but just those final 2 plays going to those two in their first title of their career. Thanks so much for joining myself and Dane Blanton here on the AVP Tour, the first stop of the Gold Series, the Atlanta Open here in Georgia.